This week on Yamaha's Whitetail Diaries. Well, Wade has seen some great quality bucks register on his stealth cams, and it looks like the newly named Lizard Lounge is the place to be if he wanted a chance to take down one of these big bucks.
I always think it's funny how certain stands in areas get their name, you know, and this one here, the Lizard Lounge, picks its name up because we were sitting in it and lizards were running all over the place, and it was just so loud, and we named it the Lizard Lounge. We didn't have a name for it before then. It was pretty new, but the location really sets up to be a great hunting opportunity, you know, based on a lot of different factors. This little particular area is right where, ironically enough, this part of the ranch is used for a lot of sheep, and they feed them constantly cottonseed, which it can be really good for whitetail deer. There's always mineral blocks in the area, and there's a series of 4 or 5 water troughs around right there. You mix that in with some really heavy cover, a lot of native brush that deer like, and it's an area that just driving through it the very first time, I had a lot of high hopes for. After studying the scouting cameras in this particular setup, I mean, there was no doubt the Lizard Lounge had a lot of game coming in and out of it. I mean, they were coming from a lot of different angles, a lot of different age classes of bucks. And as I went out to go sit in the stand, I had a very open mind. I was wide open on expectations, what might happen, what I might see even. So, you know, when you can go hunting like that, that's my favorite way to go, because I'm just necessarily going out and see what's going to happen.
Now, within an hour or so of Wade getting settled into the Lizard Lounge, a nice 7-point comes out into view. But as Wade is trying to get a shot on him, well, it looks like his buck has other things in mind. He's taken a liking to a nearby doe and has started chasing her around the clearing.
When you start setting up in situations where you've got a lot of deer and a lot of rutting activity going on, it can get pretty hectic and pretty crazy pretty fast. You know, the deer can come left, they go right, they can disappear, they can come back. Another deer you had no idea was even in the area can come blasting through, push everything out, and it may not be as big as the bucks that you've been looking for. And that's kind of what we had going on here, was a lot of chasing and a lot of trailing activity where, you know, the bucks were basically trying to cut these does out off to the side, and the does were just trying to come in and get a little nibble of something to eat, get a drink, whatever. And it was a pretty target-rich environment.
Wade is in the Lizard Lounge and is trying to get himself set up to take a nice 7-point, but this deer is a little preoccupied. After watching the buck rut around for a while, another buck comes in to investigate the action.
You know, hunting in Texas is something that's really special because our deer density and quality of the deer, due to all the hard work that a lot of the ranchers and the leasers and people that hunt on it have put in, it's special. You know, it's not uncommon for us to see more deer on some of these properties in a day than a lot of people can see in a season. And that's why I always preach to a lot of places, man, you know, follow some of the methods and madness that we do in these game-rich environments, and it will pay off. And in this case, it's just really cool to see all the different age classes, to see the different quality of bucks. See some bucks that frankly probably need to be taken out, and see some big bucks and some good does as well. And I'm watching a couple of these bucks, and I'm really kind of thinking I'm gonna take this one buck out. I had seen him a lot all year long, and I liked his rack. I mean, he's a good one. And you can call it shopping, for lack of a better word, because as I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, man, I still got an hour left. Maybe I'll see what else might show up. And I have been burned so many times doing that. And but in this case, I was kind of looking up this road that comes in off to my left, and all I saw was big buck. That's what you call smoking them right there, baby. That's the TC Venture at its finest with the 300 right there. I love that caliber. I love this rifle. You were sitting there watching that big 7-point run around. I was getting excited about trying to shoot him. He never stood still, And I kept thinking in the back of my mind, I said, oh, this rutting noise, grunting and everything, he's gonna bring another one up out of that creek bottom. Golly. Sure enough, that big deer came up out of the creek and spooked him. I like it. That was awesome. You know, when you make a great shot and it drops right there, as a hunter, that is one of the best feelings. You know, everything that you worked for has come to a perfect ending. You know, you worked all year long, you looked at deer, you studied them in that area. And man, I mean, when that deer came in and he posed out there and he turned and just looked broadside at me, I mean, I had the editors make me a picture of that deer looking at me, and I have that picture. It actually was my screensaver for a while because I just thought it was such a gorgeous pose. You know, you could see the old sway back in him, you could tell he was a mature deer, and that's kind of how I wanted to remember him until I could get him mounted and put on my wall. He is down. You know, we saw a lot of rutting activity going on the whole time we were sitting here, and if you look right over here on the left, we've got a scouting camera, one of our stealth cams, set up right here, and it's been aiming this direction the whole time. We've got picture after picture of good deer coming into this area, and here is the end result of one that we just boom flopped right here, boys. I mean, that is a good buck right there. Good mass, good tines, all the way around. Look at this the main beam and this little crab call right there kind of come right up together. I like that. I couldn't resist him. I mean, what a great buck.
Congratulations to Wade on another successful entry into the Yamaha Whitetail Diaries.